Hi, I'm Tara with the Hobby Lobby Creative Studio. Reading a sewing pattern can be a little intimidating, but in this 3-video series, we'll walk you through the process. This first video is all about reading the pattern envelope, so you'll be able to choose the right pattern, fabric, and notions for your project. When you're just starting out, it's a good idea to pick a pattern that's labeled Learn to Sew, Easy to Sew, Sews in 2 hours, or something similar. I'll be referencing several different patterns today in order to give you an idea of what you might run into on the pattern you choose. If you're making clothing, before you head off to buy a pattern, be sure to jot down 3 basic measurements: bust, hips, and waist. Patterns list dress sizes like you see in clothing stores, but to make sure the finished garment will fit like you want, go off of your specific measurements. Store-bought clothing can run big or small, and so can pattern sizes. Once you've found your measurements on the back of the envelope, look down and you'll see the corresponding pattern size. Now flip the envelope over and make sure your size is listed at the top here. Most patterns come in a few size ranges, so don't go home with the wrong one. Patterns not only come with different sizes all in one envelope, they also often come with several styles too. For example, a blouse could have different sleeve options, or a skirt could be a variety of lengths. It just depends on the pattern. Each style is labeled with a letter, so choose the one you want and take note of the letter next to it for later reference. Now that you know the size and style of your project, you can find the notions and fabric yardage you'll need. Notions are the part of your project in addition to fabric, such as thread, zippers, hook and eye fasteners, buttons, bias tape, elastic, and more. Some patterns require the same notions no matter the style you choose. You'll find those listed on the back of the envelope near the top. Here's an example of when each style needs specific notions. Remember the style and letter you chose from the front of the envelope? Here's where you'll look for it on the back. And see, the notions are listed right there next to it. Now all that's left is getting the fabric. Patterns often list suggested fabrics to use, but I recommend starting with a cotton if you're a beginner because it's much easier to manage. You'll want to look on the end of a bolt of fabric for information like how to care for it and how wide it is. The width will be listed first in inches, like this. Once you know the width, you can find exactly how much yardage you need. We chose style C for our example, and we're making it in a size 10, which you can see requires 2 1/8 yards of fabric. On this pattern, we need the same yardage regardless of whether the fabric is 45 or 60 inches wide. Other patterns, though, may need different yardages depending on the fabric's width, so be sure to check that. That's all there is to reading a sewing pattern envelope. I hope this has given you the confidence to go get the fabric, pattern, and notions that you need for your next sewing project. Be sure to watch our other videos to learn about pattern instructions and pieces. I'll see you again soon at the Hobby Lobby Creative Studio.